Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Donnie here, and I'm just going to be recording a little iFVG backtesting session here. I'm just going to try to turn this 50K into 53K. So that's like, your Apex accounts, Top Step Combines, one of one funding, my funded futures. For the most part, all prop firms with 50K accounts offered. The profit target is going to be 53,000. So I'm just going to try to show you guys how easy it is, really, to make money with the iFVG strat and how easy it is to pass these evaluation accounts. How long this video is going to be will really depend on how good the price action is of August 2023 random time that I chose. I'm trying to remember. I don't really remember if the price action was good. I was trading back then. I'm trying to remember right now. I think if I remember correctly, the price action was very decent back then. Definitely nothing to write home about though. So let's just play price here. Yeah, so this short setup is alright. We're reacting off of this 1 minute FVG. We're also reacting off of this 4-hour fair value gap, so definitely looking to be probably bearish on the day. So yeah, this is not a bad setup. I'll take this. Definitely like not the best setup, but it is something I would take. So, okay, so that's not good because that would be break even right there. So it took out these lows. I would have moved my stop loss to break even, but FX replay capabilities. So I'm just going to move my stop loss up and try to get out at break even here. Okay, there we go. So if I had to guess, ES probably just took out this low. There's probably an SMT right now. So I could be down to switch my bias to be bullish now. We're just gonna have to play price. We're really low in discount, so I don't really want to take any shorts, but I also don't want to take longs until I have more confirmation that we're bullish. So like for example, this setup, it's a good setup on paper, but I don't like to really predict the bottom. Also, we came really close to sweeping this 4-hour low. Once again, there's a good chance ES took it out. So yeah. Okay, this setup right here, this bearish setup right here, is not bad. Definitely not bad, but the RR is just not that good. It would be like a 1 to like 0.8 RR, so I'm not going to take it. And yeah, really choppy. Okay, let's just go to the next day here. Actually, wait. We could get something here. Okay, so this setup is not bad once again, but we're, for the most part right here, we're just chopping around. This fair value gap is pretty obvious though, but it's not really, we're not really reacting off anything either. So you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons. Pros, this is a pretty obvious fair value gap. We inversed it with momentum. Cons, we're trying to predict the bottom. We haven't hit this low yet. We're not reacting off anything. So I'm not going to take this. And as you guys can see, just saved myself. Oh shit, well, oh no, never mind. I was going to say I probably would have taken this, but no, I wouldn't have because I thought this was a fair value gap. If this was a fair value gap right here, I would take this any day, but it's not. So I'm not going to take this. Yeah, let's just go to the next day here. It's not a good start. That was a really choppy day. Okay, so in terms of bias, 4 hours dumping. Could look to frame a reversal here though, for sure. We're inside of this large 4-hour fair value gap. Really choppy open. Yeah, so this inversion was fine. Not the best. Would not have taken that. If we get this inversion, I'll consider it. Okay, this setup is pretty mint, but once again, I don't really want to try and just try to target. I don't want to try to predict the reversal right at the bottom without any more confirmation. This could certainly work. I could see it working for sure. But I usually like to wait for a market structure shift. We haven't really it's not like we just took out like a super important liquidity pool either. we're kind of just at this random spot. I guess you could say, oh, there's an order block here. But look, there's an order block here we didn't reverse off of either. There's an order block here we didn't reverse off of. So I'm not going to take this. And yeah, once again, it worked. It would have been a break even. Okay, so, oh shit. Well, that's kind of brutal, guys. I'm skipping forward a little too fast, because I probably would have taken this right here, reacting off of this 1 minute gap, and inversed this 1 minute gap. And I would have just moved stop loss to break even here, because we did get our market structure shift, right, that we wanted to see. Of course we could still enter here, right? This fair value gap is pretty good. This setup is alright. The only problem that I see with it is that it's kind of choppy, right? And we still, we don't have full confirmation yet, right? We did have this market structure shift, but for it to be a true market structure shift, we would want to see this high taken out, because that was the last significant high. So, I mean, it could totally work, but I'm just going to skip on it. Yeah, so this would have been a break-even trade if I did take it. I would have moved stop to break-even here. It came down. I'm holding out for something better, guys, to be honest. Okay. So now, ooh, what? So there is our actual market structure shift here. So now I would be willing to take longs. Let's just see what price does. Okay, so this is not a bad setup for sure. We are kind of trending upwards generally. Got this kind of trend going. Definitely not the best setup either, though. I mean, this fair value gap is minuscule. I'm going to pass. I guess it's good, guys, that I chose a time with kind of really weird price action, because you guys are going to get a lot of lessons in like how to avoid bad trades when the price action is bad. This is a pretty good trade right here. So we're reacting off of this. I'm assuming this is like a 5-minute order block. Yeah, 5-minute order block here. Swept this liquidity. Really quick inversion. So I'll take this. Once again, I already covered that I saw the market structure shift that I wanted to see, so I feel confident being bullish now. About a 1 to 2 RR on this. So what I'm going to do here is move my stop loss to break even. We just took out this first swing high. So what I'm going to do is close out half of the position here, and boom. Okay, so there's a quick 750 in one trade. It took a few days to see an actual nice entry, but there we go, finally. Let's go to the next day here. Hopefully that price action keeps up. Okay, huge move to the upside, geez. Not really seeing anything too good here. A lot of the time when the market just shoots up like this, it's not good for the inversion fair value gap model, because we kind of do need like a nice retracement to get in good. But okay, this could be something. Depending on the momentum here, could take a trade. Nope, not going to take a long off of that. This is not bad as well. So I did kind of miss this because I was focused on this trade. But this short is not terrible. I could totally see market coming down and filling this fair value gap that we have below. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. It's going to be not the best RR because I'm getting in a little late, but not horrible. So that's a problem because, oh wait, no, it's not a problem. I'm going to move my stop loss to break even. Probably going to be a break even, yeah. So I'm not going to get mad at a break even. At the end of the day, a break even you should be happy about because we just protected our capital. And now we just got another entry here. So we see this fair value gap got inversed with a lot of momentum. We're reacting off of this. Same thing where we kind of have this draw on liquidity below, and right here the RR is actually much better. So here I'm going to close out half of the position. I'm going to move my stop to break even. And boom. So that's a nice trade. After 2 trades, we are halfway to passing the account. What are we? We're 10 minutes into this video and we've taken 2 trades. But that's what happens, guys, when the price action is not so good. You have to be very passive and wait for only the best setups. Okay, so let's look here. So in terms of bias on this day, looking at the 4 hour, it's kind of an interesting spot because we inversed this gap here. So from a purely mechanical perspective, I would be looking for this high to get hit. But once again, I could totally see a big retracement happening before that. So this, I would be okay with taking shorts or longs today. Okay, just kind of waiting for something obvious here. This could be obvious on the 3 minute, or maybe on the 5 minute. Yeah, okay, this is not bad. The only problem with this setup here is that we do have this fair value gap right above that we could easily have a reaction off of, so I'm not going to take this, but it could certainly work. And that's where the discretion comes in, guys. You know, okay, I'm definitely taking this. So this is a really nice setup here. 1 to 2 RR. Often when we get just like a huge down candle like that, it'll be a really good sign that the momentum in the market is changing. So here I'm going to move my stop loss to break even, and I'm going to take off half of the position and let the rest ride. Okay, so we got a small win there. I'm not going to get mad about that. I'm not going to get mad that the full TP didn't hit. We locked up some profits, and that's, you know, that's always good. Locking up some profits is always good. Me personally, I like to take partials often at 1-to-1 RR. But some people do it differently. Like some people, for example, some people take partials, you know, at the first swing low that hits or the swing high, you know what I mean? But I like to just keep it pretty mechanical and just do it at a 1-to-1 RR because it'll always be, you know, the same amount partial that I'll be taking out. Okay, let's just continue price here. So this long setup is pretty decent. I don't think I'm going to take it just because it's a little late in the day. So let's just go to the next day here. Okay, bias today. Looks like we're kind of chopping around a little bit. Looks like we did reach into this 4-hour fair value gap. Continuing upwards, so, you know, probably a little bit more inclined to be bullish today. But let's just play price and see what we get. Okay, pretty bad price action so far. Nothing obvious. Okay, is this like a bank holiday or something? Like, let's go to the next day. So bias today. Looks like we took, no, we didn't take out these relative equal body highs. Looks like we're coming down probably to fill this fair value gap here. So I'm probably a bit more bullish than I am bearish, but we'll have to see. Nothing obvious right now. Wow. What's going on here? This price action sucks. Okay, this could be decent on the 3 minute. I just don't want to try to predict the bottom. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go to the next day. That's a day where you just need to fight the FOMO and not enter randomly. Okay, bias today looks a bit more bullish to me. We just kind of reacted off of this 4-hour gap. That's a barcode if I've ever seen one. Okay, so just play this out here. It's like we are reacting off of this gap here. Okay, so that came up a little too high. The RR will be pretty ass if I do enter a trade here, so I'm just going to skip out on it. Okay, so this is kind of a screen time thing, where like in theory this is a good play. But first of all, the RR is really bad, and from my experience, I've noticed that usually when the market goes down, up, down, it's not just going to continue going down, right? Like it'll probably have some sort of retracement first. Okay, so I was kind of wrong there, but once again, doesn't matter. The RR on this play is so trash that we don't need to be taking a setup like this. You don't need to force setups, guys. Really, only take stuff that you think that you have conviction will hit. For example, this here, it looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. We didn't inverse it on the 3-minute though yet, so okay, so that's a good tip for you guys. On the 1-minute you can see that we inversed everything, but on the 3-minute we didn't get the inversion. So that's a good way to protect against unnecessary losses, is to just make sure that on the higher time frames that you are not, that the inversion actually did happen. So that saved us from a loss there. I was definitely about to take that. Yeah, so this 1-minute setup isn't bad, or this 3-minute setup. I'm going to pass on it because this is kind of just too steep for me. I can't really see the market just shooting up right now. Maybe it will, but in my opinion, it's not the best setup. It'll probably be a break even at best. Okay. Okay, so this long is not bad. Definitely could see it working. So, because we're reacting off of this. Only problem is that there's no clear target, right? There's no like obvious swing high for us to target over here, so I'm not going to take this. Whenever you're entering into a trade, you want to have an idea of like why the market is going to move in your direction, not just because, oh, I see an inversion fair value gap. That makes you a pattern trader. You don't want to be a pattern trader. You want every move, everything that you do in the market to have some context, some reasoning. I'm going to go to the next day here. Okay, so let's just see. So, you know, not a bad setup by any means, this short, but not a good one. Would have been a break even. Okay, so this long setup definitely isn't bad. The only problem that I have with it is that it's kind of made these equal lows right here. Let me actually check. Did it sweep this? Yeah, so it didn't sweep that, so I'm not going to take this. So, I mean, it looks like it would be a break even. Really choppy right here. Really choppy price action. Wow. Okay, this is pretty nice. I'll take this. So, reacting off of this these fair value gaps up here. Very obvious inverse, a lot of momentum. Can target these lows down here. Let's see what we get here. So I'm going to move stop to break even now. Oops, wait, is that 1-to-1? Not just yet. Okay, well, I would have taken a partial at 1-to-1. Okay, okay, ignore that. That's a good trade right there. In like real time, I would have made like, instead of 703, I probably would have made around like 600 or 500. But for the sake of this video, like, let's just ignore that and continue on. So one more winning trade, and that will be 53,000. So let's play price here. So this is not a bad setup. Definitely could see it not working though. Yeah, so it looks like it did work, but you know, this fair value gap is just so small. So we're not gonna gamble with small fair value gaps. We want big, obvious fair value gaps with lots of momentum. And it looks like price will probably just run. See, like once again, this is not a bad setup by any means, but we're so high in premium. I don't wanna FOMO into a setup like that. Okay. And this is not bad, but we didn't quite sweep this liquidity. So I'm not gonna take this. So that would have been, looks like we avoided a loss there. Okay, so here, looks like we swept this. We're reacting off this order block. I don't want to try to predict the top though, so I'm not going to take that. As I've said before, I like to wait for more confirmation. Yeah, so this is, again, this is not a bad setup by any means, right? But it just doesn't have enough confluence for me. We're not reacting off of anything. We're kind of just chopping around beforehand, so we'll skip on it. Probably be a break even or a loss. Yeah, so it would be a break even. Let's go to the next day here. Let's see if this trade would work. Probably not. Yeah. Okay. What are we? 22 minutes in. Wow, this is a long video, guys. This is what happens when you backtest with shitty price action. But you guys are getting a lot of tips on how to avoid bad trades, so it's actually good. I guarantee you any other YouTuber, guys, is going to just find the place on FX Replay. They're going to find a spot with amazing price action, win 5 trades in a row, and move on. But I'm actually going to a spot with bad PA and making it work and showing you guys how to avoid losses. So this trade here, I'll take it. We did get a lot of momentum. This fair value gap is fairly obvious. We're reacting off of this fair value gap, and I am bullish on the day, so that's enough confluence for me, to be honest. I will move stop to break even now. And you know, that's unfortunate that we didn't hit that, but it's okay because we're just going to move on. There's a break even trade, nothing to be mad about. And just like that, we get another entry. Another 1-to-1 RR. Reacting off of this. Nice momentum on the inversion. Okay. Okay. This is not exactly a good sign, yeah. So we take a loss there. It's the first loss of the video. Not a bad loss by any means, really. Just kind of unlucky. You know, no trading strategy has a 100% win rate. If anyone ever tries to advertise that to you, just know that they're full of shit. This setup looks alright to me, but we're kind of reacting off of nothing, so I'm going to pass. And good thing we passed. Looks like we swept this liquidity. I'd like to see this low swept before we get into any longs here. Okay, so there's the sweep of that low. This could be a nice entry opportunity. Yeah, this is alright, but there's so many fair value gaps above here. I'm going to pass on this. Yep. Here could be our time. Okay, so this to me looks a bit better. It looks like it'll be about a 1-to-1 RR, or no, a little more than that. Oh, 1-to-2 RR. Came down, we're reacting off of this massive fair value gap. You know, we swept this, we swept all these lows. Oh, but look what, 3-minute didn't inverse yet. Oh shit, oops, oh my god. I was literally... Okay, guys. Pretend that I entered right here. I'm gonna place the order anyways, but pretend that I entered right here. Sorry for that. Okay. I'm gonna move stop to break even. And wait, let me see something here. Is this 1-to-1? So, okay, this is pretty scuffed, guys. I would have taken a partial at this point right here. Let's see if I can, maybe price will come back up and save me. Okay, boom. So there's a point where I would have taken a partial right here. So I'll just take it, but it's not as much as it would have been. Okay, now let's continue. Okay, so that's a small win. Would have been a little bit of a bigger win. So instead of 145, it would have been 250 if I actually entered at the right time. That's just my problem. Like, I was just rushing a little bit. Let's continue here. One more good trade will be enough to get us to 53K. So hopefully this price action isn't too devious. 4 hour, you know, this is really choppy price action on the 4 hour, which means, you know, it's a lower probability day, definitely. Probably more bearish than bullish. Okay. What's going on here? Let's get a nice bearish setup here. End off the video here. Come on now. There's not really anything for us to inverse. Okay. No fair value gap there. Let's continue. Bro, like, this price action is actually, like, driving me insane right now. Again, like, okay, this is really mid setup, dude. Kind of, I would take this. I would take this. This kind of looks a lot like a turtle soup. I am bearish on the day as well. The only problem is I don't really see an obvious price target for us. But in that situation, I'll just target these equal body lows below. Let's see what we get here. So, just playing this out. Okay, so I'm going to take a 50% partial here. Move stop to break even and play the rest. Okay, and boom. 53,135. Let's look at the analytics here real quick. Let me just see how long that took. So 85% win rate, 10 total trades, 3 break evens. Looks like that took us about 2 weeks. So on 2 weeks with really bad price action, guys, this price action was not good at all. We were able to pass this evaluation. So hopefully that's inspiring for you guys. If you guys, once again, I don't know if I said this earlier, but if you guys want to join the Discord and live trade with me every morning, it's going to be the link in my bio. It's going to be completely free to join the Discord and completely free to watch me live trade. I've been killing it recently. Like, me and my partner Lander, we've been pretty much undefeated the last couple weeks in the markets. So yeah, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, just let me know. Peace.